Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome any new subscribers. As always, I appreciate that shit. What we got going on today? Well, we got this Slash two-wheel drive short course truck, but I don't want a Slash two-wheel drive short course truck. What I want is something to drive in the sand. So, what we got? We got some shit over here. Let's see what we got. We got some MIP body mounts. I mean, some Proline, excuse me. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Got a Traxxas TQI receiver. Got some sand paddles. Got a dune buggy body, Proline dune buggy body. Fit right on there. Whatever this stuff is, it came with it. Got a little brushless system, just so we make it a little bit more interesting. And we got an upgraded high-tech servo. Yeah, let's see what we got underneath this bad boy, because we got to fit this body. Oh, tire's falling out. We don't need this. This actually goes. I actually got two of these goddamn things. I don't need two of them. Another one in there. All right, so what we got? Let's take all this crap out of here. All right, so we got to pull this out. We got to pull the motor out. Got to pull the servo out. Got to pull the radio out. This all got to come out. All right, let me pull that out. It's easy enough to do. I'll be right back. All right, I got all that Traxxas stuff off here. Pulled the motor off, and where did that thing go? Where the hell did it go? There it is. This little plate on there, I think it's so you can just line this up with the pinion that's on there and you ain't got to adjust it or nothing. But if I don't put this in here, then this is going to be used on the beach, so it's going to be flying around in sand. Sand could possibly get in between these little low levels if I just put the motor in there. So I'm going to put that back in there. If I have to, I'll remount this adjuster, just so I can leave this in there, and that'll keep some of that sand out. But this is a 4100 kV motor. It is censored. It's a little 80 watt, 80 amp, 80 something ESC stuck in here. Let me see if I can get this shit out. There it go. Yeah, a little 80 amp. Sorry, watt. What the hell? So yeah, it's a little max 10. Got a good price on it. That's the only reason I'm putting it in there. I figured sand and shit would get down inside of here. So I figured I might as well just take this thing out. This will be fine. I think it's 3S ready. I don't think you're supposed to go past 4,000 kVs for 3S, but it's only 41. It's not going to matter. 2S is going to be fine on this. It's going to be faster than what that was. All right, let me see if I can get this motor mounted in here. And I'll get right back with you guys. I don't see why I was too worried about getting sand in there. There's a big freaking hole in this cover right there for that gear to come through, so that's just gonna suck sand up. Oh well, we'll survive. Let's figure out where we're gonna put this ESC. Let me put this back tire back on so the shit sits halfway straight. All right, let's bust this thing out of here. See what we got. Yeah. Alright, the other one was right here. I don't have to put it right there. I can put this shit like right here. Like right there. Because there ain't nothing over on this side but the servo and that's down the middle. And then the electronics over there, the receiver. Maybe I should put it, no, not with that. No, I don't think it'll fit. No mounts on this on the bottom. Mounts would be nice. I guess I could make one. I guess that's a good place for it right there. I don't know. Alright, let me see if I can make a mount. Might as well put it in the same damn spot. Alright, let me figure this out. Alright, I found a nice little plate. I don't know when it actually goes to. It should fit right here. Might have to oblong them holes a little bit. And I got to take down these nubbins. So let me take these down. And then it'll fit perfect underneath there. Voila. Be right back. Alright. Nice little plate in there. Seems to be secure. This thing ain't got a lot of weight to it, so I think a couple pounds of double-sided tape ought to take care of that bad boy. So let me double-side that bitch in there and we'll be right back. Alright. Got it all mounted in there. Looks like it's gonna stick, I guess. A couple zip ties in there. Keep this shit kind of neat. Keep it the best I can. Alright, it's looking pretty good. I gotta put a little screen over this. Try to keep shit out of it. I don't know how good that's gonna work. Alright, then we're gonna move on to putting the receiver box back in. Put the receiver in there. We gotta put the servo in. Ah, shit. I don't have. And we'll figure that out when we get to it. Alright, got her all programmed. And you got the servo hooked up, but it's working. I don't know if it's going the right way or not. ESC's working. I think I need to put a bigger pinion on this. I think we can get a little more out of it than that. But it is 2S. Let me stick 3S on here, see what happens. That's a little better. Alright, let me put the cover back on this. See if I can't get that servo hooked up. Get that all right. And then this got Bluetooth on it, so I can start programming some bullshit. And I got stuff to program this too. So let's see what we can get going on here. Alright, I got the ESC bound to the radio and all that bullshit. Got the servo hooked up. I'm surprised the servo saver fit on that high-tech thing. I don't know, but it seemed to. I'm not gonna cry. Probably end up taking it off if it can't handle it, but there ain't no weight up here, so it should be alright. The servo saver should be tight enough. If not, you can always take it apart and fill it up with silicone, and that'll tighten that shit up too. Alright. What's next? Well, we took the clipless body things off the front and the back, so we gotta put these on. Beautiful Pro line body mounts. Alright, let's get this bag open and figure out how this shit go. Alright, everything seems to be good to go. Everything seems to be working here. Still gotta put a little double-sided tape on that bad boy, figure out where I want it. This is all set up. I had this in backwards. I had to put that back, switch that around. Alright, let's get this body opened up and see if we can't get this on here and see what happens. Alright, I gotta cut this body out. Now, the way I cut a body out is I just follow the body lines. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just take a little marker and mark the outside body line so you don't get off track and cut some shit you didn't want to. I've done that before. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to follow this around the trim out piece, and then I'm going to snap that shit off. Alright, let me trim that out and I'll show you. Yeah, I got it fitted on there. It lines up. I had to notch these out a little bit to fit it around there. I didn't want to take the bumper off. Looks like the pre-marked holes all line up. Sure it ain't gonna hit. I got a little grinding on the body to do with the Dremel. Straighten out these edges and stuff and smooth this out a little bit, and then this is done. Alright, let me hit this with a Dremel, clean this shit up, see if we can't get this mounted on here. Alright, looks like it's about as good as it's gonna get. I'll drill some holes, put little clamps down. I still gotta paint the damn thing too. That'll be easy enough. I have to figure out something for a color scheme. Alright, let me continue on, see how much more we can get going here. I'll get these holes drilled out because they do line up. I hate these damn shock towers, flimsy ass goddamn things. Plastic. Look at that shit. Alright, let me move on and quit bitching. Alright, these wheels look like crap. I don't feel like buying sand tires for the front. It doesn't matter anyway, but let's see if we can make them look a little closer to this. So I got one cleaned up. I 3M padded the chrome. I hate chrome on RC. It didn't belong. That's for models. All right, so I got to take off. Let's throw some paint on here and see what this shit look like. All right, just got back from a nightly golf cart ride. A little 5-mile trek. Always keep busy. So I did paint these up. I think it looks better than them blue ones. So yeah, it'll look better when I get the body painted. It's also got a wing. A wing, it goes right there. Oh, let's see that. But I'm going to lower this body a little bit more, at least a couple more holes. It's a little too high. See, it doesn't bottom out, so it can go down a little bit. I might trim this a little bit too, because I kind of cut it right there. I messed up. I'll fix that. Alright, well, it's Miller time, man. I'll fight around with this shit sometime tomorrow, this weekend. Alright, later. Alright, fresh start. It's about 85 out this mofo. It's hot. Alright, I think we got this where we want it sitting. Get some paint on it. I did have to stiffen up the springs a little more. These things are shitty as hell, but I'm not spending $60-100 for some damn shocks. I'm just driving it on the beach. That's all it's for, is to take it to the beach. Nothing else. It has no other purpose in life. Alright. We did program this. Put shit where we want it. You know, there's about 12 different things you can do. Most of them are for a rock crawler and shit, you know, drag brake, shit like that. And I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, so that's all set up. This is all set up because we got Bluetooth on there. Traxxas link. Works real nice. Alright, so let's get this body cleaned up. What we're going to do is get a 3M pad. Scuff up the inside, everything but the windows. Don't hit the windows. And get this ready for some paint. And then figure out what colors. I don't know what. I can put down paint, but I have no artistic talent as to do the colors and stuff. Alright, let's get going. This is what I use to scuff it up. 3M pad. I cut it in half or cut it in quarters. You don't need a lot. Again, you're just scuffing everything that you're going to put paint on. You're not putting it on the windows, so don't scuff the windows because you'll see that shit if you want to leave your windows clear. Alright, so just a little dish soap water. Scuff the bejesus out of it and wash it out, and then she should be ready for masking and paint. Yeah, I got it all washed and scuffed up. I don't know if you can see the scuff marks in it, but how cloudy it is now. Everything except the windows. So let's get this baby masked off and figure out some paint and check everything one last time. Alright, let me get going. I'll be right back and put up the window masks. Yeah, got it all masked off for the sides. I'm painting there. Just make sure you rub this tape down. Just make sure you got some decent tape. Don't get no big lot bullshit because that'll peel up on you. Make sure that's rubbed down, otherwise it's going to bleed through. It's going to look like shit. I'll warn you now. Make sure you got everything covered up so no overspray gets in anywhere. And you should be good to go. Alright. And especially when you got this tape around here, this masking tape. Hit it with light coats when you're spraying it, real light dust coats, just so it dries up around there, so the paint, wet shit, doesn't crawl up underneath there, because it'll crawl up underneath there. All right, let me spray these sides and let's see what we get. Let's see if I messed up. All right, I'll lay down the base color. I'm gonna keep it simple. Just dust coat it a few times. Just easy dust coat. Try to get in the hard spots with all the angles and crap, and then take it from there. Alright, let me blow some paint on this and we'll be right back. Alright, I'll show you painting a little bit. I had this can sitting in the sun getting toasty there for a good 30 minutes. It flows better when it's warm. Alright, so I blew it off. I'm hoping all the bugs are gone. Like I said, dust coat. That's all you're doing. Let that shit dry. Oop. Let that shit dry. Alright, I'm gonna come back, give it like 5 minutes, put another coat on it. Give it like 5 minutes, put another coat on it, and then I'm gonna hold it up to the sun, make sure it's all equal. You know, so everything looks the same with the sunlight coming through it. And then I'm gonna blast it with some white. Then I'm gonna blast it with some black after the white dries, just so when you look through the windows, which I'm gonna tint, you won't see all the colors and shit. It always looks like shit, especially when the sun hits the damn thing. Looks like crapola. I'll show you once I get the white painted. Alright, got the base color down. You're gonna use a whole can, so if you buy a can of this shit, these are old cans, so this is from 21. It was $7, so between Bidenomics and tariffs, it's probably like $99 now. I don't fucking know. But yeah, you're gonna use a whole can. Hate to tell you. So there ain't nothing left in that. I won't even spray no more. So that's already. I gotta coat the inside with white so to keep the brightness of the blue. And then once that's dry, then I gotta nail this shit with some black. So when you look through the windows, you ain't gonna see the blue and shit glowing in the sun. Like I said, I'm gonna tint the windows anyway, but I ain't gonna tint them black. All right, so let's let this dry, then we'll hit it with some white. Double check it one more time before I do anything. But it's looking good. These sides don't matter, that's where the white's at. As long as that shit didn't blue it. Oh yeah, it looks good, man. All right, let me blow some white on it, blow some black on it, and then we'll move on from there. All right, I'm gonna hit it with some white. The black and white, those are both Traxxas paints. I love the Traxxas black because you can spray it on the outside too, which I'm gonna do here. So it's that's kick-ass shit for the outside. I used to use that Krylon crap, but shit, this is way better because you use it inside and outside. All right, so we're gonna hit some white, let that dry off, and then hit it with some black so you can't see anything when you look through the windows. Spray this while we got it off, and tint the windows, and I'll be back. All right, getting ready to spray the inside black. I'm gonna spray that black on the inside, and I'm gonna spray it black on the outside. Then it'll look all semi-gloss. It'll look sweet. I'll show you. And then tint the windows, and I think I'm done. All right. All right. I don't have no tint. I don't have any smoke for the windows, so we ain't doing that. But what we can do is pull this protective coating off. See what we ended up with. Oh yeah, pretty. Look at that. Always the best part. When I get this back on here without ripping up anything. Alright. So I still got some decals to put on. I'm going to trim out around the windows. I'm going to put a little chrome strip across here. Put the headlights on and whatever else. Where are the decals? There ain't too much on here. There's just some lights and door handles. A couple engine decals. Which I'm not too sure where in the hell they go. I don't know. Alright, whatever. Let me put decals down and guess we'll call it a day. Alright, let me finish this up. Alright, what are we gonna do with this? Well, the more I look at it, the more I don't like it. Yeah, but it's too late now. Alright, so let's see when I did make it so I might like it a little bit better. Alright. So whenever you don't like something, just decal that shit out. Alright, so that's what it's gonna look like. That should be good enough. It's just for driving on the sand. It's all black, got the spoiler on there. Put a couple decals on there. Looks better without that bumper on there. I don't really like this big ass bumper up here too much either, to tell you the truth. Not much to hit out there on the beach. And that's, like I said, it's not for anything else. We'll have to see if we can do something with that. Who knows? There's always something we can do. Let me cut that off. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Alright, so yeah, let me show you how to do these black around these windows. Like I said, that's nothing more than pinstriping. Automotive pinstriping. Alright, where's some at? Yeah. Usually get a small strip and then a wide strip. I'm using the wide strip, but I'm using black. I got a bunch of leftover black, so it's easy enough to do. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of black. Show all this lint's off here. It's all on the inside actually. But I'm going to take a strip of it and just lay it across there so it looks good. Let it hang off the edge. Don't trim it. Don't do shit. Then I'm going to take a piece and put it across the top. Same thing. Let the edges hang off. Then I'm going to go up each side. And I'm going to take my razor knife after I put a new blade in it. And I'm going to trim the corners. So it'll end up looking somewhat round. Alright, let's get going on that. Alright, got the bottom one on. This stuff conforms pretty good. And then I'll hit it with the heat gun real quick. And then that'll seal it on there for life. Alright, let me do the top. Each one of the sides, and we'll trim it. Put a new blade in. Always switch your damn blades, man. You can see I got everything's up. I'm just gonna drive across there and follow the contour. What looks right to me. Worst can happen is you can have to do it again. Tape's cheap. There you go. Get this one. You don't need to press too hard. Just enough to cut through that tape. Pinstriping. Alright, look good. I'm just gonna cut these and bam, that shit is done. Same thing for the red tape. Just overlap it and then cut it with the razor knife the way you want it. I'm gonna put the rest of the decals on this, so this bitch will be done. Alrighty then, she's all done. Took her out on the large parking lot, got it up to 40 miles an hour, and I felt that good enough. That thing all over the place at like 35, so pushing the limits there at 40. I don't think it's gonna do that in the sand, but it should be fun with whatever setup in it. So easy build, not that much work. Didn't cost that much. I did order some RPM cover here. Supposedly it takes care of that gap in the by the gear there. And I also ordered some shock shaft limiters so I can drop it down probably to about like that. Because right now it sits like this and it looks like shit. I don't need all that. I'm not going off-roading. So about there. So that'll be our thing. As you can see, if you looked at the grass at the beginning of the video, that shit was dead as hell. That's how old this video is. My ass is slow. I admit it. Alright, till next time. We got plenty of shit laying around. We got a whole room full of shit in the TV room. Alright, later.